In a small American town nestled between rolling hills and dusty roads, there was a modest auto shop owned by a young mechanic named Jake. Jake was in his early 30s, hard-working, humble, and always willing to lend a hand. He wasn't rich, but his heart was full. Everyone in town knew him as the guy who'd fix your car even if you couldn't pay right away. He never turned anyone away, not even once. One chilly fall afternoon, just as Jake was closing up shop, he noticed a young woman struggling to push a wheelchair across the cracked sidewalk outside his garage. In the chair sat a little boy, maybe 7 years old, with wide, curious eyes and a shy smile. But Jake could see right away that something was wrong with the wheelchair. One of the wheels was loose, the frame was bent, and the boy's ride was clearly unsafe. Jake rushed over without a second thought. "Mom, need some help there?" The woman looked exhausted, but grateful. "Yes, please. It's my son, Liam. His wheelchair's been giving us trouble for days. The hospital gave it to us, but they said it'll take weeks to get a new one." Jake knelt down and inspected the damage. "Well, you came to the right place. I fixed everything from tractors to golf carts. I think I can work some magic on this too." The woman hesitated. I don't have any money." Jake looked her in the eye and smiled. "I didn't ask for any." He wheeled the chair into his garage, while Liam sat on a tire and watched with fascination. Within minutes, Jake had his tools laid out, tightening bolts, aligning wheels, and even welding a few spots on the metal frame. He worked with focus and care, like he was fixing something priceless. Liam lit up watching Jake work. The boy asked about tools, engines, and how things fit together. Jake answered every question with a grin, and before long, Liam was laughing and chatting like he'd known Jake forever. His mother sat nearby, tears welling in her eyes, not from sadness, but from the kindness of a stranger. In under an hour, the wheelchair looked brand new. Jake even painted a few cool flames on the side, just for fun. "There," he said, "Liam's ride is good to go." The boy wheeled himself around, shouting with joy, "Mom, look, it doesn't wobble anymore." His mother hugged Jake tightly. "Thank you. You didn't have to do this." Jake just shrugged. "He deserves better, that's all." The woman took his name, said thank you again, and promised to return the favor someday. Jake didn't think much of it. He'd helped lots of people before. He just wiped his hands and went back to fixing old engines. But 3 days later, everything changed. Jake was underneath a pickup truck covered in grease and humming to himself when he heard a strange noise, like a loud engine, not from a car but from above. He stepped out and looked up. His eyes widened. A sleek, white private jet was circling overhead, coming in low, heading toward the nearby abandoned airstrip. Minutes later, 2 black SUVs pulled up to his garage. Men in suits stepped out, followed by the woman he'd helped and Liam, now dressed in a crisp button-up and waving excitedly. Jake wiped his hands nervously. Is everything okay?" The woman stepped forward, smiling. "Jake, meet my father. This is Charles Benton, CEO of Benton Medical Technologies." Jake's mouth fell open. Benton Medical was one of the biggest medical equipment companies in the country. He'd seen the name on wheelchairs, prosthetics, even ventilators. The older man stepped forward and shook Jake's hand firmly. "My daughter told me everything about what you did, about how you treated her and Liam with dignity, kindness, and zero expectations." Jake stammered, "I just fixed a wheelchair, sir, that's all." Charles smiled. "That's never all, Jake. What you did, the way you did it, that's rare these days, and it touched us more than you know." He handed Jake an envelope. Inside was a formal invitation to fly with them to their headquarters in California, meet the engineering team, and consult on a new line of durable wheelchairs for children in rural communities. "We want you to help us design them," Charles said. "You see what most of our engineers never do, what life is like for everyday people." Jake was stunned. "But I'm just a mechanic." "You're more than that," Charles replied. "You're the kind of person we need." Jake accepted the offer with tears in his eyes. A week later, he was on a private jet for the first time in his life. He met designers, engineers, and business leaders. He gave honest feedback about how equipment broke down, what poor families needed, and how things could be made better and stronger. Within 6 months, the Liam series of pediatric wheelchairs was launched, affordable, durable, and designed for rough terrain. The first batch was shipped to children across rural America. Jake's name was on the design, and his face in every press release. But he didn't care about fame. What mattered most to him was that kids like Liam would have something better, something safe and strong. Jake didn't leave his garage forever. He still fixed cars and tractors, still helped neighbors for free. But now, every few weeks, he'd fly out to California to work with the Benton team. His humble garage became a symbol of hope, a place where one act of kindness had changed countless lives. And every time Liam rolled into the shop to visit, Jake would salute him like a superhero. Because, in the end, it wasn't just a wheelchair Jake had fixed. He had repaired something much bigger, a system, a story, and the belief that good people still exist. And that sometimes, all it takes to change the world is one act of kindness, done with no expectation in return.